For more than a century, cosmologists have shared a single compelling story about the universe, that it is expanding. Galaxies are racing away from each other, carried on a fabric of space that stretches endlessly in every direction. The main evidence, redshift, the stretching of light's wavelength as it travels across the vast distances of the cosmos. But what if that explanation, as widely accepted as it is fundamentally incorrect? Could we be missing something crucial? What if the redshift we observe is not the result of cosmic recession at all, but rather an illusion, a trick of perception, a misreading of light that has been distorted by gravity, not stretched by expansion? What if our entire understanding needs to be re-examined? I present a groundbreaking cosmological model developed in collaboration with artificial intelligence that provides a completely new perspective on redshift, cosmic structure formation, and the underlying geometry of the universe itself. This innovative framework is known as SECS, Singularity-Embedded Curvature Spheres. At its core is a radical yet intuitive idea. All luminous, active celestial bodies, from planets and stars to entire galaxies, actually form around singularities. These singularities aren't rare exceptions, like the central black holes of galaxies. Instead, they are everywhere, the gravitational seeds that give rise to structure itself. Singularities are embedded inside the very objects we observe, shaping not only their formation, but also how we perceive them, influencing the universe in ways we are only beginning to understand. Around each singularity forms what I call an accretion sphere, a glowing three-dimensional envelope of captured material spiraling in equilibrium around the singularity. These are not disks, not rings, not hollow shells, as often imagined. They are full spherical structures, gravitationally bound, luminous, and complete, revealing the true geometry hidden at the heart of these cosmic objects. However, these accretion spheres rarely appear truly spherical when we observe them from Earth or with our telescopes. What we see is often quite different from what actually exists in space. Instead, they appear distorted, flattened, compressed, and sometimes even resembling a disk. This visual transformation is not just a trick of perspective, but a direct result of the environment these objects inhabit and the forces at play. Why does this happen? Because these objects are not isolated. The universe is crowded with massive objects, black holes, neutron stars, and dense clusters, all exerting their own gravitational influence on the fabric of space-time. Throughout the cosmos, external singularities, other nearby black holes or gravitational masses, create their own curvature fields, warping the surrounding space-time in complex and dynamic ways. These distortions do not simply pull matter, they bend light itself, twisting and redirecting the very path photons take as they travel through the universe. The light from a luminous accretion sphere doesn't travel in straight lines. Instead, it weaves through a landscape shaped by gravity, following curved and unpredictable trajectories. It is lensed, curved, and stretched by the embedded gravitational landscape that surrounds it, creating visual effects that can be both beautiful and misleading to distant observers. This results in a profound illusion. The three-dimensional accretion sphere appears, from most viewing angles, as a thin accretion disk. But the disk is not real. It is a projection, an artifact of how overlapping singularities curve space-time, shaping what we see from afar and reminding us that the universe is often stranger than it appears. This is the first core insight of the SECS model. Accretion disks are illusions. What we see as disks are actually spheres, their true geometry hidden by embedded curvature. The next insight is even deeper. As light from distant objects, galaxies, stars, and quasars, travels across the universe, it must pass through a vast field of overlapping curvature, created by countless embedded singularities at every scale. This journey is far from simple. These distortions are not uniform. They shift depending on the number, density, and proximity of other singularities along the path. As light bends and slows through this gravitationally warped medium, its wavelength is stretched, not because the source is moving, but because the space-time it travels through is curved. This stretching of light, this gravitational redshift, is not due to expansion, but rather it is a result of distortion in the cosmic fabric itself. In other words, the redshift we've long interpreted as evidence that the universe is expanding in all directions may instead be telling us something else entirely, that the universe is dense with curvature, not expanding but structurally complex, filled with intricate gravitational effects. The SECS model reframes redshift not as motion, but as the integrated effect of light traveling through a gravitational field shaped by singularities, embedded not just in the deep past, but in every luminous object we observe today. SECS also explains why certain bodies in the cosmos do not exhibit this unique behavior. Moons, small planets, and asteroid-like objects may not contain singularities at all. Instead, they are debris, remnants left behind from catastrophic collisions between bodies that once contained singularities. Their structure is inert, lacking the gravitational engine that powers accretion and curvature. In contrast, stars, planets, and galaxies with ongoing luminosity and internal structure are all centered around singularities. That singularity is not a side effect. It is the very cause of their existence. In the SECS model, general relativity isn't thrown out. Instead, it's given a new interpretation. The Einstein field equations still describe how curvature and motion work in the universe. But rather than assuming space expands uniformly, SECS proposes that what we see as expansion is actually the visual effect of layered gravitational curvature. The math backs this up. The geometry we observed, especially the consistent redshift and the shapes of luminous objects, supports this reinterpretation, and the presence of disk-like structures at every scale further reinforces this idea. SECS unifies these cosmic phenomena into one cohesive framework. It describes singularities at the centers of structure and accretion spheres as the true geometry of luminous bodies. External curvature distorts these into disk-like illusions. Redshift is explained as the cumulative effect of gravitational lensing, not recessional motion. SECS is the first such theory to emerge from a collaborative synthesis between a human and an artificial intelligence, combining human intuition with AI-accelerated mathematics and theoretical refinement. This is not merely a thought experiment, it's a real scientific proposal. It stands as a testable, falsifiable alternative to the expanding universe paradigm. SCCS makes predictions about lensing, about cosmic structure, and about deviations from Hubble's law that future instruments will be able to measure. If those predictions hold true, then SCCS could offer not just a new theory, but a revolutionary new paradigm for cosmology. Imagine a universe not born of a bang and flung apart by energy, but seeded by singularities, sculpted by curvature, and revealed through light endlessly warped by gravity's pull. This is the SECS model, Singularity-Embedded Curvature Spheres, a gravitational, luminous, and honestly beautifully elegant reinterpretation of the cosmos itself, a new paradigm waiting to be explored.